Purchasing real estate has never been more important than it is right now.
Right now.
2023. Let's talk about it.
I'm Kyle, Sam's hype man. Here's the thing. We're in a new studio, as you may have noticed, on a better camera, on a better situation. So for our efforts, I feel like we could end the video right now if you would just leave us a thumbs up. That'd be super nice. But we actually have real things to talk about today.
That's right.
Sam, I need you to convince me, because I know actually this is not a hook. This is just the truth. Everyone's like,
well, the real estate market sucks. So why would I buy right now?
there's actually good reasons, but you have to be able to withdraw from your emotions and just look at data.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about some of that data. Sam's gonna talk about most of the data.
It's true. Absolutely.
Hit 'em.
First off, let's just start with this. Colorado Springs is pretty cool. You guys know we're all about our local market here in Colorado Springs. And to me, it's getting cooler by the day. So if you're considering purchasing a home
Technically,
here,
it's getting hotter.
if you're considering purchasing a home here, you really should go for it. I think Colorado Springs is an amazing place. The food scene's constantly getting better. The downtown nightlife scene, like everything about this city is getting cooler by the day. But the number one thing when it comes to buying a home in 2023, look, I get it. The media right now is like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. Everything's crashing, everything's going to the tank. I get it. Interest rates are really, really high. Affordability's tough. But inventory. We talked about it before. We're gonna keep talking about it because it's gonna keep being a problem. Right now, inventory is kind of keeping prices afloat.
It's 100% keeping prices afloat.
Yeah.
I mean, no kidding. There's at the time of the recording of this video, plus or minus 1,000 homes on the market here in Colorado Springs for a city, a county that services like 750,000 people.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
1,000 homes on the market right now.
Yes.
So, by the way, if you're like, I don't think now is a good time to sell, would you like to sell when there's more competition? Because you can wait, and there will certainly be more competition later. But what we're doing right now is we're encouraging a lot of our clients to just put their homes on the market because there is like no competition right now, but there are still people that need to buy.
Yeah.
Inventory is bananas.
Yep. Overall, what you need to know is supply and demand is still king. Even though this market's crazy, even though everything seems volatile, supply and demand is still king. Right now, there's relatively low supply and there's plenty enough demand to support that. So
There absolutely is. And just to ease everyone's like, well, yeah, but wasn't it crashing? I mean, I think we can actually technically call it a correction at this point.
Yeah.
Because it went from, our median price was at about $498,000. It went down to about $448,000, which is 10%, which I think is the actual technical definition of a correction, is a 10% change. But it has since stalled because what we're talking about, because the inventory is holding so low that it's actually giving buoyancy to a lot of the prices.
that's right. The number 2 reason you should consider buying a home in 2023, you got to build equity,
Yeah.
right? You got to build equity. I can't say equity. dude.
Well, here we call it equity.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to build equity, okay? And what are you really building when you're building equity? You're building wealth, right? 60% of homeowners' net worth out there is found in their retirement accounts and their home equity. That's huge.
That is huge. And I don't want to be one of those people that's like, buying is always better than renting, because it's not true, right? And we'd be liars if we were trying to like sell that story to you. But what we like to look at is the long-term strategy. It's like the strategy division of Explore Colorado Springs / the Berisford Group, is like, what are you looking for long-term? And if you're not just focused on like get rich quick schemes, and you're just like, well, I have a friend that bought in 2020 and happened to time it, and then COVID happened, and then they got this insane, that's not how real estate works. But the fact remains is that real estate has a long-term projection, a long-term stability in its appreciation and its growth.
Absolutely.
Which means you get wealthier.
Yep. You want to hear another crazy stat?
Yes, I like stats.
So, a U.S. Census data report found that those who owned versus those who rented had an 80 times greater rate of wealth.
80?
Yes.
So what does that mean for you? It means if you have never owned a home before and you're curious, well, okay, how can I get into that? Maybe you're not ready to right this second, but again, let's build a strategy. Maybe we can help you figure out something that works in 6 months or a year. That's totally fine. It's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of your energy and resources to figure out. Because I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that the only way to get into a home is to have 20% saved up. That's a freaking lot of money.
It is. It is a lot.
That's a lot of money. But you don't have to. There's so many first-time home buyer programs out there, and we're dialed into those, and we can help you kind of figure some of these things out. So, like, absolutely, let us know. Feel free to, our number is down below. Feel free to reach out if that's something that we can help you do.
Absolutely.
As a total sidebar.
Well, and I want to go back to a point you just made. Like, it's not always better to buy. I totally understand that. Like, there are studies out there that have found that over the long term, like, if you rented, if you are investing the difference in the cost of owning versus renting, if you're investing that wisely, you could absolutely have a greater net worth in the long run. And I get it, like, stocks return more money on average in a yearly basis. Like, they just perform a little bit better. But here's the thing too about stocks, like, they can be as volatile as the rates, and we'll get into that. In a bad year in real estate, you might lose 10%. In a bad year, right? You think about like 2008, what happened there? That was like, so far that's been a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let's keep it there.
So you think about, like, in a bad year, you could lose 10% in real estate.
What about the stock market?
In a bad day, you could lose a lot more than 10% in the stock market.
I have lost way more in a day in the stock market. Actually, you know what? This is actually a funny story. Let me tell you a story about a blunder in the stock market that does not happen in real estate. This is kind of funny. So there I was, young Kyle, trying to get rich quick. I had a friend who I knew had connections to this other company they were releasing this pretty magnificent product. Oh, this is so embarrassing. And I was like, oh, I'm certainly gonna be buying stock in this, right? And like, they finally had their IPO, and I bought into it, not really when I should have. It should have been like earlier in the day, but I'm an idiot and I don't know how to time the stock market. And so this stock, it gets released and it just goes, and it like cranks up, and we'll just use easy numbers. It went up to like $96 a share. I think I finally got in at like $80 or something, right? Like, not bad. Here was my mistake. I meant to invest $1,000, but I pressed an extra zero. Is either I pressed an extra zero, or like, I was saying how many shares I wanted, and I accidentally said 10,000. And I was like, oh, but see, like, I thought that it would like calculate it out and be like, that is gonna equal this much money. It didn't do that. It was just like, yeah, we're pulling it from this account. It doesn't even matter. And so not only did I buy like 10,000 shares, but it peaked and then it settled all the way back down. And then like 2 weeks later, I think the CEO was like in some fraud or some like scandal, and then it went from like $96 or 98 at its peak down to like 50, down to 30, and I was like, maybe it'll rebound. And as one does, because you're like trying not to lose everything, like maybe you just keep holding, and so you just keep losing. Man, that was bad. So like, that doesn't really happen in real estate, not quite like that, because you have to go through a lot more. Like, it doesn't mean that there's not bad deals in real estate. There absolutely are. Yeah. But like, it's not gonna be because you fudged a zero. Like,
most of the time. Pretty much all the time.
I meant to buy a $100,000 house. Instead, I bought $1 million house.
Yeah.
Casual. You'll know the difference when you look at it. So, anywho, but the point remains is that, especially long term, it's slow, it's gradual, and it still requires strategy.
Yeah.
It still requires some knowledge, and by the way, it still requires risk.
Yep.
But it's not like the stock market.
More millionaires have been made off of real estate than anything else.
Well, including the stock market.
Yeah, like, let's just put that out there. I get it. Again, stocks can return way more, can return it way quicker, but
the NFTs though, bro.
NFTs.
What about NFTs?
We'll do another video
What
on
about
NFTs later.
Bored Ape Yacht Club?
Yes.
What about...
No. We'll do another video on NFTs later. But number 3 reason you need to buy real estate in 2023. Speaking of volatility, rates are volatile right now. Everything seems volatile right now, right? Any given day, you can log on, check the mortgage rates. They've swung a certain percentage in either direction, and that absolutely has a massive effect on the affordability of real estate right now. Here's the thing. Whenever you're purchasing in a given day or in a given time period, nobody knows what the future holds. But again, real estate holds up as one of the best investments over time.
That was good.
You like that?
I don't even want to add anything.
Came up with that all on my own.
Because I just like it.
Thank you.
So, why do you need to buy real estate in 2023? It's spring of 2023 at the time of the recording of this video, and the market it's not going anywhere south. Let's put it like that. We look at this data week over week, and as of right now, the median price, it has stabilized, and it's starting to go meh.
Starting to tick back
It's
up.
starting to tick back up.
Another stat for you. Out of the 187 metro markets that the NAR tracks, they saw a price decline in 10% of them.
Like year over year.
Yeah, a price decline in quarter 4 of 2022, the worst quarter.
Look, we can't predict the future.
No.
We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we can read trend data. And the supply and demand issue is ultimately what we'll just keep circling back to right now. Supply and demand and rates. And there's this beautiful dance between it, right? Yeah. And it affects what are the interest rates doing, but we've got accidental landlords, people that became landlords that weren't intending to, but the rates make sense and they don't want to sell. And they're like, well, I can just rent out my place. And how's that affecting the rental market? There's a lot of things swirling, but what we're seeing, to sum it all up, is that it is actually a good time to buy real estate. And if you're not poised to buy real estate right now, it's a good time to prepare to buy real estate.
That's right.
Because in 10 years, you're gonna look back and be like, man.
How do they prepare to buy real estate? Should they start in the description box?
Yeah, likely.
By reaching out to us?
Likely.
Yeah.
It is just the easiest way.
Yeah.
We don't want to give you a bunch of things to do, and we can help you walk through it and make an actual good plan. And if you know somebody that needs to see this, just share this video with them.
That's
right. Somebody that has kind of been on the fence or they've been renting for a long time, just share the video with them and put us in touch. We will take care of them. I promise. That's what we do.
Absolutely. See you next time.